It's time to draw that zombie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to give you just a basic look of a face of a zombie. You know, the shape of the head, like so. Not a whole lot of detail. Because what we're going to do is we're going to let the inks do the work on this thing. Just basically kind of get an idea of the shape of the head. Just basic rough shape here, like so. Alright. So now this is the part where we kind of start letting the pens take over. So in just a moment, this bit of pencil is going to become a zombie. You're watching Draw TV. Okay, now let's go ahead. We've got our pencil rough of just an outline of a head. We're going to make this thing become a very, very scary zombie. So what we're going to do is just kind of like rough it out a little bit. And I'm using a generic form of a Sharpie because I want this kind of purple look to it. And in the generic forms you get this really neat purple effect. I don't know how to explain it, there, but now what we're going to do is we're just going to come around and we're going to bring this around like so. And we're going to make ourselves one scary looking zombie. Okay. The reason I'm making the eyes big is because we're going to do some neat little things to this here in a second. I want this to look absolutely frightening. So I'm keeping it kind of rough. Very rough, actually. Now, this is a semi-recently dead, so we'll give him a little bit of the death's head look here. Like this here. And I'm playing a lot with the undershadow. I'm using up here is the light source, so you get a heavier shadow underneath like this. Now we're going to put the eyeball in the socket here, and we're going to darken the rest of it in. Continuing with that light source from up here and below, like that. Now we're going to put the other eye here, of course. We're going to darken that in. They don't have to be perfect circles. You don't want to have a perfect circle. This thing is not alive anymore. It's dead, and it's all messed up. And you want to kind of go with that notion of like It's just completely decrepit, and you can actually have bits hanging off and whatnot. And then we're going to bring in some brows here, and heavy eyebrows. I think would be kind of cool for this. Again, with the dark on one side, like that. And then we're going to come around this side here, and then on this side you'll be able to see more of the detail of everything, and you know, you can play with that a little more. And over here we're going to have the ear, and I want you to, if you're doing this at home or just following along or whatever, I want you to make the ear rotted, just because it's cartilage basically. You know, it's bits of skin and cartilage, and I don't want a pretty ear on this thing. I want this thing rotted. And so we're going to rot that ear a little bit here, just like that. Like that, just kind of like that. And then we're going to have this here. And here, like this. Kind of like his parts of his face have just completely rotted to pieces there. We're going to dot that in. Like that. A little bit right there, kind of messed up looking, you know, kind of thing. And unless this is like a really old man, let's put some hair on his head here. I'm 40 years old, so old man is relative. We're gonna kind of bring that out. Kind of like that there. And what I'm doing is just kind of rocking this marker back and forth, and just kind of gives it a neat little look to it there. Okay, now I'm going to break out the some color here in just a moment, and hold on. Okay, now coming along here, and this is where his piece of a shirt is probably going to be at, like that. And remember the shadow is on here, the light's coming from up and down here, and what we're going to do is just shadow him down to here, like that. Again, remember, bits and pieces. Let bits and pieces just fall off of him. He's just nasty. He's just a rotted thing. He's disturbingly gross. You get the idea. Now, on this side, I'm going to put what's left of an eye. And I think I'm going to leave that plain for the moment. Okay, and then here we're going to put what's left of a shirt. Bring that in there. His shadow will be over this area, like that. Just like that, just filling in that bit of shadow there. He is. If you'll notice, it's the shadow of his head, basically. It's what I'm bringing down to this side here. Okay. I'm going to put the remnants of a button maybe there. Remember, like I said, he's this nasty, dragged out, rot mess. And his shirt's going to come down like that, figure. And then this side over here. Put some wrinkles in the shirt here, because, you know, he's not going to the, He's not going to go get his shirts pressed or anything like that. We're going to do that. We're going to bring that out to more of a showing wrinkliness of his skin there. Same here with the side of the eye. A little bit of wrinkle on the shirt there. Just like that. Scraggly-headed dude coming out of the woodwork after you, probably going to give you nightmares one day. Okay, now it's time to bring in the color. I've got I color with whatever I can get my hands on. In this case, we're going to use, starting off with just a regular old red pencil, colored pencil here. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the blood or the gore around his face here. The zombies aren't known for eating nicely at a buffet. They're known for eating people, or small animals, or whatever their tastes are. Someone once said a vegetarian zombie would eat grains. Yeah, I told a bad joke. Who cares? So now what we're going to do is we're going to speed up the process of the a little bit, because we don't want to waste your time. Is what I'm doing now right here is I'm just making little chunks, and I'm coloring them in like that. It's kind of just like that, and just kind of a little bit on the edge of his teeth there, trying to show that it's pretty gross, pretty scary there. Look out now, scary stuff, whatever. And we're going to put some down here because he's not wearing a bib when he's eating people. If he was, that'd be weird. Next idea project would be a zombie with a bib. But I know people don't like that stuff. It's just too funny. Anyway. So we're getting the red on there, a little red on his shirt here, like it's got all over his shirt, it's just kind of like that. You get the idea. There. Okay. We're going to make this eye bloodshot just by little pick lines like that. A little back and forth. Then, if you want to go in depth with it, you just go right in there. You just kind of, dig into it. And I like to go back around with a little bit of the red and just kind of pop it out a little bit. Pop his eyeball out. That's funny. We'll put some more red up here on his head. Like that. Okay. Now, as I said, this eye here is going to be blued out. Like he's blind in this eye. So we're gonna do this here. Bring it around. And then what I'm going to do, you see where the pupil is here. I'm just going to do the same here, but with the blue. I want it to look like he's blind in that eye, so I want that to that effect. Now, in my world of zombies, zombies are green. Gray or green, like rotting skin. The sound you're hearing is my electric pencil sharpener. What a wonderful thing to have in the studio. What we're going to do is we're going to go to where the shadow is, and we're going to put this green in, like that. And we're just going to do a little bit. We're not going to do a lot. And just kind of, just to get an idea of where that shadow would be lying at. Bring it back across like that. See what it's doing there. It's just kind of giving them this look, this green look to him. When we get over to the light side here in a second, I'm going to start adding yellows. And I have a trick for that I will show you. But you're not allowed to show anyone else or I'll have to kill you. No, I'm just kidding. I won't kill you. And then right here where the black is, just kind of pop that out like that. And over here, I want that looking pretty bad because this poor old zombie, he has been through the mill. He's done been shot at, and his face is all burnt out. So I'm using a darker red. This is crimson red. Make it look like his face got clawed up a little bit there when he was chasing a lady or something. I don't know. Could have been clawed up by a guy who was just really frightened. I don't know. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay, so we got all that going on. And then we go back in with the greens. And I'm just going to kind of darken it right there. Across here. I want all this down here at the bottom, in this neck area. I want it just green. The top's where the light's coming from, so the bottom's not going to be as lit. It's well lit, I should say. Like that. And then we'll darken the inside of his ear there, what's left of his old rotting ear. I would suggest that if you're going to do one of these kind of zombies, you know, this kind of a rough zombie out of inks, I would suggest just to relax and let the pen jar around a little bit. Let it create for you. You don't have to do all the work. And it'll do it. It'll bounce around and you'll start seeing noticing little shapes and oddball little things going on your picture, and you'll be like, oh, that is cool. And you'll start getting neat things like this happening. Alright, Mr. Zombie, we're on this side now of him. You heard my electro pencil sharpener one more time there. Lighting. It's all about, in horror, it's about lighting. It's about, in scary films, and it's about the lighting and the music. And those two things really make a difference. If you put a monster in broad daylight, it just doesn't have the same appeal. All right, now we've got this bit of zombie here. So now what we're going to do is I have some markers, and I will take a yellow marker, and it doesn't matter what kind, as long as it's a good marker. This is a pretty good marker, and just start coloring over that green and all that with this yellow. I don't know if you can see that on the camera exactly what it's doing, but it's kind of like smashing all the colors together. And I'm letting it pick up some of the reds and stuff, and it's kind of mixing everything together, giving it this horrible look to it. You know, it's just really cool. You know, kind of like something along the lines of this here. This I'm using the Rose Art Color View liquid ink markers, and I like using this. They were only $5, so it wasn't too bad of a deal. A little bit on the cheap side, and that's okay. I also have these cool markers I got a few years ago. And I can't even read the labels now. I can't read the labels. But they were really cool, and I used to use them for pretty much the same thing. But as you can see, I've worn that one out. It's gone. So I'm back to here. Yellow in like that. All right. Let's see. I'm going to use a just typical brown pencil there, and I'm going to color his shirt here. Just gonna fill it in. His shirt's secondary. It's not as important as showing that zombie head. Just going to fill that in rather quickly. Now, if some of the red gets taken away when you put the browns down or whatever, that's okay, because dark clothes are going to absorb blood. It's not going to be bright and shiny. We'll leave that to Sesame Street if you want to be bright and shiny. This is a zombie picture, so if Sesame Street had zombies, that'd be interesting. Anyway, so I'm just kind of back and forth trying to get that like a worn out old shirt look kind of thing. That's what I'm trying to do here. Just back and forth, back and forth. And before I drew this, I put a pencil line around the edge of it, inch on either side. This is 11 by 14 poster board I'm drawing on, and I put a inch diameter line around it, if you can get that. Now for the background, gotta have a background, so we're gonna back to our good friend Mr. Brown here, and what we're gonna do is shadows again. We know where the shadows are. We're going to use this brown, and we're going to just kind of like crosshatch, sort of. Nothing major though. And we're just going to back and forth it. Just backing and forthing it, just like that. Back and forth in it. Again, back and forth. Something along those lines right there. Now, we've got orange, and we're just going to go over this brown. Orange marker. And it's they're worn out markers, but it gives me just what I want. I want that look. I want that kind of half dead, worn out, and just disgusting feel or look to it. And around the edge of the zombie, I'm trying to tighten it just a little because I want it to kind of glow. I want my zombie to glow, not glisten. No, not glisten. No. Now what I'm gonna do? I go old school now, and by old school, crayons. Just a nice yellow crayon. And you're going over the orange and the browns down here at the bottom. Just back and forth, nothing too fancy. Same on this side, bringing that yellow around. And you'll see that I still got that edge there, and when I'm done, if I want to put it in a frame or something, I just overlay the frame. You won't see all that extra on the side there, of course. Now, thing about crayons, people don't like crayons because they make a mess, right? I think they're kind of messy in a way. So what I do is I take a piece of plastic. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm using the edge of this box here. And I'm just kind of scraping off that layer of cheesy yellowness that just lays on there, you know. Scrape it off. You don't need all that. Scrape all that off. There. Now, now the wall needs to be extra funky, extra weird, so let's go with that. Breaking out the giant Sharpie king size. And here we go. Just like this. This is a slightly dried out Sharpie. And don't throw away your old pens, because you could do so many neat things with just busted up old half dried out ink pens, markers, whatever. They have a brush quality to them, like a dry brush quality. It gives a neat little look, neat little effect. Most people would say throw it away and buy some new ones. Yeah, well, I'm not you. And so just put that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like that. And we're just mixing that in there like that. And then up here in the yellow, kind of the same thing. Back and forth, back and forth. Just mixing it all together. Bringing it on around with this old dry marker. Across that old crayon there. Keep saying old. Don't know why. Okay. And then over here, same deal. Just kind of dig it in there and dig into that yellow a little bit if you have to. And just get in there. Just tear it up a little bit. Alright, now the most fun I have doing this sort of thing is putting the old John Hancock somewhere on the picture. I'm going to put it right there this time. And I'll highlight that just a little bit. And voila, we have a complete zombie on 11 by 17 poster board, mixed media. If you'd like to purchase this zombie, contact me and we'll discuss it. Sell it to you through PayPal. That way you don't get gypped or ripped off. And I'll mail it flat so it doesn't get tore up, bent up, or damaged. This has been another episode of Draw TV. And we'll see you next time. And enjoy the zombies.